I'm John, in my early 30s and working as an office employee. This story takes place about 5 years after my wife, Emily, and I got married. Emily and I met in college and got married. Things were great at first, but as we both worked, we had less time to talk. I don't know what Emily was thinking, but I was dissatisfied and wanted us to be a close couple, so I tried to improve our relationship. My parents had a rocky marriage, and I always used them as a what not to do example when I got married. However, Emily was always busy with work, coming home late, so there was little chance to work on improving our relationship. I thought having kids might resolve some of our issues, but we never had any, so I can't say for sure. Anyway, one day, feeling sick, I left work early and got home around noon. Of course, Emily was at work, so I was home alone. Suddenly, the doorbell rang, and it was the postman. "What's this?" It was a termination notice for Emily, who had supposedly gone to work that morning. I immediately called Emily. "Hey, can we talk?"
Huh. I'm at work, call me later.
With that, Emily hung up. "What's going on, Emily?" "You're at work, right? So this termination notice must be a mistake." Thinking the notice was sent in error, I called Emily's workplace. "Hi, I'm Emily's husband. A termination notice was mistakenly sent to our house. You might want to be careful."
No, we definitely sent a termination notice to Ms. Emily.
The one who picked up the call was a lady in HR. I didn't understand. Emily, who works hard every day until night, got fired. But she should be at work now, so getting fired doesn't make sense. But Emily is at work right now, isn't she?
Ms. Emily has been absent for the past few days. Weren't you aware?
But she said she was going to work this morning and left.
The fact that she hasn't come to work today remains.
So, Emily said she was going to work but was somewhere else. And why was she terminated?
You should ask Ms. Emily, she would know best, said the HR lady before hanging up.
Thinking I wasn't getting anywhere, I then contacted a coworker of Emily's who is also a friend of mine, Alex. "Alex, it's about Emily."
"Oh, Emily. She hasn't been coming to work lately, and everyone's been worried. What happened to her?"
I was shocked to hear this unexpected news. I couldn't understand the meaning behind Emily's mysterious actions. Why would she lie to me and skip work? I wondered if Emily had her reasons. "Do you know why she's not at work?" "She said she was going today."
Wait, you don't know? Then that rumor might be true.
"What rumor?"
Well, there's a rumor she's having an affair with a former coworker.
"An affair?" "No, that can't be."
People have seen Emily and the former coworker holding hands. And it was on a weekday when Emily was skipping work.
The guy in question left the company a few months ago for a new job. Since then, Emily's work attitude worsened, and she's been missing work to meet him. I couldn't believe it, and I never dreamed that Emily would cheat. Reflecting back, she had indeed been coming home especially late these past few months, spending less time at home. Is it certain that Emily is cheating?
Well, it's just a rumor, not confirmed. But she's been seen being quite close with the other man at work frequently. And I heard a rumor that the other man is married, and his wife is demanding alimony.
Seriously? If that's true, what's happening behind my back? Actually, Emily received a termination notice. Do you think it's related to the rumor?
What? Really?
Alex seemed surprised, hearing it for the first time.
But it's unlikely she was fired for an affair. Probably due to too many unauthorized absences, lateness, and leaving early.
To think she'd cheat and also let her work performance drop. I fell for her in college because she was serious and passionate about everything. Anger surged within me, realizing I never thought Emily could be this person. In hindsight, maybe this was her true nature all along. She wasn't much of a talker and was hard to read. For now, I decided to act as if I didn't know about the termination. I wanted to find conclusive evidence and confront Emily. When Emily came home that day, I asked her, "How was work?"
Usual. Why do you ask all of a sudden?
Surprised by my sudden interest, Emily responded, "We hardly ever talk like this anymore. Just wondering since you always come home late."
Just busy as usual. I'm tired, so let's not talk anymore.
I held back my anger, staying patient. "Actually, a friend said they saw you out during work hours." That was on a weekday. Emily paused for a moment.
Maybe that was when I was out on a client visit.
"I see, just curious what you were doing." "Don't worry about it." I vowed to uncover the truth about the affair and take action against Emily. To confirm the affair, I first decided to investigate the other man's home. With Alex's help, it was easy to find. Then, I decided to confront the house directly. Despite not having concrete evidence of cheating, I was too upset to think straight. I figured if there was a wife demanding alimony, she must know about the affair. His house was surprisingly fancy. Emily cheating with such a wealthy-looking guy. I felt belittled, comparing myself, an ordinary guy, to him. I boldly rang the doorbell, and a woman who seemed to be his wife answered. I asked her about Emily and her husband's affair. "Sorry for the sudden visit, I'm Emily's husband. I heard rumors about an affair between Emily and your husband. I was shocked and wanted to know more, so I came here."
I see. For now, please come inside the house.
She looked surprised, but she still invited me inside her house. I recognized her voice even though we never met. I thought it was just my imagination at the time.
Indeed, your wife and my husband have been having an affair for years.
Years?
Yes, I'm demanding alimony from her. I never thought you didn't know.
As I talked more with the other man's wife, I came to learn shocking facts.
This will corner Emily.
Armed with this information, I prepared to counterattack Emily. First off, I readied myself to corner her. I sent a message on Messenger, saying, "Got called away on a sudden week-long business trip." Emily rarely replies to me.
Take care. I'm going out with friends then.
Unusually, she replied this time. Of course, the business trip was a lie. I needed her to temporarily leave the house for my plan. It was tough. I had to use my precious vacation time for this. A week passed. Emily must have just returned home. She then called me in panic.
Everything's gone from the house.
I replied with her own words, "I'm busy, call me later," and hung up. Then, Emily called my office, forcing me to respond.
Everything's gone from the house. What's going on?
I moved, so of course, there's nothing there. It's not my house anymore, so you shouldn't just enter it. I had moved during that week.
Why did you move without telling me? Where are you now?
Well, I don't have to tell a stranger where I am.
I'm not a stranger, I'm your wife. What are you talking about?
We're divorced now, so you are a stranger.
I didn't sign anything, so it shouldn't be valid.
But we had made a promise when we first got married. If one cheats, it's an immediate divorce. I had prepared the divorce papers just for that occasion. However, Emily seemed to have completely forgotten about this agreement. But as we talked, she gradually started to remember and then inexplicably got angry.
What? Divorce, just like that? You're not making any sense.
It's because you cheated.
What? I didn't cheat. Do you have proof?
Emily denied the cheating. If you want proof, check the shoe cabinet.
What is this?
There were a photo of her holding hands with the other man intimately. There were also photos of them meeting up together. I had placed in the shoe cabinet clear evidence of Emily's affair.
Did you take these?
No, they're from when the other man's wife hired a private investigator. The other man's wife had requested an investigation years ago when she suspected the affair. She had given me those photos. Also, check the envelope. The final nail in the coffin was the printed screenshots of Emily's texts with the other man.
Why would you have this?
I heard everything from the other man's wife. You're being sued for alimony, you know. Emily seemed unable to find an excuse, visibly shaken.
But moving out and divorcing without saying anything to me is too cruel.
The cruel one is you, pretending to go to work and meeting him instead.
Where are you now? Just let me pick up my things at least.
I sent your stuff to your parents' house using cash on delivery. Didn't they contact you?
I haven't been in touch with my parents. Maybe I have no choice but to go back home.
I talked to your parents a bit, and they seemed pretty upset. Cheating, divorced, and even fired from your job.
Fired? I didn't hear about that.
Well, if you haven't been going to work, that makes sense. Take a good look inside the envelope. That's when Emily first saw the termination notice. She seemed shocked, unable to say anything. After you were caught by the other man's wife, you still continued seeing him, right? Especially after he changed jobs, you started meeting during weekdays, letting your work attitude slip. Of course, the company would fire you. I also told the other man's wife that you two are still seeing each other. And I announced to Emily that the other man's wife would be demanding additional alimony from her. Even over the phone, I could tell Emily was crying. But as a punishment for cheating, I believe Emily deserved this treatment. After being shown irrefutable evidence and getting fired, Emily completely gave up and agreed to the divorce with me. Of course, I demanded alimony from Emily, thinking this episode had come to an end, but I wasn't the only one seeking revenge on Emily. This is a story from a while after we got divorced. I had assumed Emily and the other man would end up together. However, it turns out the other man and his wife had children, so they decided not to divorce. In the end, Emily was just a fling to the other man. Emily was devastated by being dumped. But, there was a secret about the other man's wife. Turns out, she was the HR manager at the company where Emily worked. And quite a senior one at that. So, the person who dealt with the termination call was the other man's wife. Emily didn't know this. The reason I recognized the wife's voice when I first met her was exactly because of this. Essentially, Emily's firing was officially due to poor work performance, but in reality, it was also the wife's revenge on Emily. It seems the wife had been plotting her revenge ever since the affair started years ago. The reasons Emily started taking unauthorized leaves and such were not just to meet the other man but also because rumors had spread, making it uncomfortable for her at the company. Emily, dumped by the other man, lost her home, and went back to her parents' house. But her parents, saying they couldn't believe she had cheated, turned her away. With rumors of her cheating and firing spreading, Emily found herself without any support and began begging me for help.
Can you lend me some money, just for a bit? Or let me stay for a short while?
I don't know, don't mess with my life anymore. I promptly blocked her calls. Later, I heard she tried to confront my company. But I had been promoted and transferred. So, I no longer work in that location. She didn't know I was no longer there, calling many times and even waiting outside, eventually getting treated as a suspicious person by the police. When I found out about this, I filed a complaint. Emily, treated as a stalker by the police, was issued a restraining order, and since then, I haven't seen her at all. The only thing she does diligently is paying the alimony in installments. I heard from acquaintances that she's been working day and night to pay the alimony to the other man's wife and me. Meanwhile, I met a wonderful woman at my new work location. She is now my biggest supporter, fully aware of my divorce status. Unlike the quiet Emily, my new girlfriend is straightforward and speaks her mind. Sure, we argue, but being able to talk openly reduces stress. Having advanced in my career and achieving financial stability, I've finally found a peaceful life. Now, building a happy family with her is my next goal.